This is the story of Barack Obama, how he rose to power. Before the crowds, the Nobel Peace Prize, the presidential motorcade, there was just a kid named Barry. A boy raised between islands and continents whose name alone sounded foreign to the country he would one day lead. This is not just a story about a president. This is the journey of a man who tried to redefine America, and in doing so, got caught in the storm of what America really is. Barack Hussein Obama II was born in Honolulu, Hawaii on August 4, 1961. A boy of mixed race in a nation still wrestling with the ghosts of segregation. His mother, Ann Dunham, was a white woman from Kansas. His father, Barack Obama Sr., was a Kenyan economist and, as young Barack would later learn, a complex and often absent figure. When he was just 6, Obama moved to Jakarta. Imagine that, an American kid studying in Indonesian language schools, learning how to navigate street food vendors and political unrest. But by age 10, he was back in Hawaii. Raised largely by his grandparents, he attended Punahou, an elite prep school where he grappled with identity, race, and the contradictions of privilege. He was Barry then. Just Barry. A teenager experimenting, questioning, drifting.
For me, because let's face it, my presence on this stage is pretty unlikely. My father was a foreign student, born and raised in a small village in Kenya.
A little bit about myself and the book, a little preface. As was said in the introduction, my father was a black African, and my mother was a white American. And much of my life was spent trying to reconcile the terms of my birth, that divided heritage, with the realities of race and nationality.
College brought direction. Occidental College in LA showed him politics. Columbia in New York made him serious. And then came Chicago. It was on the South Side that Obama found his voice as a community organizer. He worked with churches, unions, families left behind by Reagan-era policies. He didn't have power. He had clipboards, ideas, and relentless optimism. But before we continue, if this story has you hooked, if you've been drawn into this journey of grit, change, and legacy, take a second to support the vault that brought it to you. The Daily Facts Vault is built for curious minds like yours, people who crave more than just headlines, people who want the full story. So if you're still watching, here's the truth. You're exactly who we're making this for. Like the video, it tells the system this content matters. Subscribe so the next story finds you first. And drop a comment. What part of Obama's early journey hits home for you? Now, let's get back to Obama and how a man with no title, no money, and no machine became a movement. Now back to the video. Harvard Law School followed, where he became the first black president of the Harvard Law Review. National attention came fast, but so did a choice: join a powerful law firm or return to Chicago and keep organizing. He chose the harder path.
Barack Obama in 2004 was totally unknown. People were saying, I don't know who this guy is. I wonder why they picked him.
He had this reputation as a bit of an upstart, as sort of a young, rising figure in the party, but no one knew who this guy was. This was his chance to introduce himself to people.
In 1996, Obama was elected to the Illinois Senate. He lost a bid for Congress in 2000, a humbling moment. But then, in 2004, he ran for the U.S. Senate and won. And it was during that campaign that America first saw what the Democratic Party already sensed. He was electric.
Better days ahead. I believe that we can give our middle class relief and provide working families with a road to opportunity. I believe we can provide jobs to the jobless, homes to the homeless, and reclaim young people in cities across America from violence and despair. I believe that we have a righteous wind at our backs, and that as we stand on the crossroads of history, we can make the right choices and meet the challenges that face us. America, tonight, if you feel the same energy that I do, if you feel the same urgency that I do, if you feel the same passion that I do, if you feel the same hopefulness that I do, if we do what we must do, then I have no doubt.
His keynote speech wasn't just inspiring, it was seismic, the kind of moment that launches presidential dreams. And by 2008, the kid from Hawaii with the funny name wasn't just dreaming, he was running. Obama entered the presidency at a moment of crisis. The Great Recession, 2 wars, a nation divided not only by politics, but by its sense of self. His first term brought the stimulus bill, the Affordable Care Act.
I've got to use every pen, so it's going to take a really long time.
The killing of Osama bin Laden.
Tonight, I can report to the American people and to the world that the United States has conducted an operation that killed Osama bin Laden, the leader of al-Qaeda, and a terrorist who's responsible for the murder of thousands of innocent men, women, and children.
The Nobel Peace Prize, awarded not for what he'd done, but for what the world hoped he would do. He was a master of symbolism, slow jamming the news with Jimmy Fallon.
I can't stay forever. Besides, Daddy's got a Hawaiian vacation booked in about 223 days. But who's counting?
Singing Amazing Grace after a racist massacre.
Amazing grace. Amazing grace. How sweet the sound.
Lighting the White House in rainbow colors after marriage equality became law. But for every triumph, there was backlash. Birtherism, gridlock, the Tea Party, Ferguson, Baltimore. He campaigned on hope, but governed amid resistance. Obama left office with high approval ratings, but he also left a Democratic Party decimated at the state and local level. Since then, he's become something of a cultural statesman, producing Netflix documentaries, launching a podcast with Bruce Springsteen, writing books that read like literary meditations. But he's also stayed in the fight, campaigning for Biden, endorsing Harris, warning against misinformation, authoritarian drift, and the erosion of democracy. He is no longer the center of power, but he is still a force in the story of America.
That he sees the election as an all-hands-on-deck moment.
Barack Obama didn't fix America. He never claimed he could. What he gave us was something subtler, more powerful. A vision of what we might become if we can live up to our ideals. He was not a savior. He was a mirror. And what we saw in him was, perhaps, what we most wanted to believe about ourselves.